What's up guys, welcome to another video. This is the most requested guide and this is my 2 cents added to other guides that are already out there. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you like the video. And with that said, let's get right into it. This is the deck that I have been using. I started using this after reaching Stadium for the most part of Forsaken Valley. I've been using a Magnus deck and I'll put it up so you can see. Also, here are two optional decks, deck 1 and deck 2. Now with deck 2, I really like this deck because I've been having a lot of fun with this deck, especially with this tower, the Ranger's Hideout, and that's because of this passive skill, the Forest Vines. It's also cheaper to get to 2 archers on top, which increases the fire rate, versus Royal Archer, which requires 3 upgrades. The Royal Archer is still good, especially with that extra damage to flying creeps and boosters. Alright, and with that said, now these are the maps, and if you don't have a screenshot already of the maps, this would be a great time to pause the video and take a few. Alright, and with Forsaken Valley, it brings new creeps, and most of them have 2 stages to their health, and this is nothing new. There are a few creeps that we have all faced in the past with this 2-stage health. Here are some examples. The only difference with the new arena is that they have a lot more HP, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Alright, so let's get into the good stuff, the Shadow Archer. Now, these are the most annoying creeps, in my opinion, because I've died so many times to these creeps. And how I deal with them is like, grouping them so they're all bunched together, using Polymorph and Lightning, and with the assistance of Barbs to take them out. The Lightning or Thunderbolt spell is very optional. I don't use it everywhere. It's very like selective and based on like if I really need it or not, but mostly stun and polymorph with barbs and using my hero, whether that be Magnus or Barasad, that helps to take out the Shadow Archers. Now moving on to the Dark Rookie. Now this guy is like the weak link out of all the troops that have like a 2-stage health, and I typically use like polymorph and barbs to take it out. The lightning is only optional, as I mentioned. It's not really needed, especially if you have like a level 2 barb and polymorph. Once you group them together with stun, polymorph will definitely take them out. Alright, moving on to the Dark Knight. Now this guy, it's basically the same treatment for this guy, but the only difference is I try to get his health all the way down to maybe less than 50%, and that's so that way my barbs don't have a hard time killing it, because like the lightning spell, it has a long cooldown time and you don't really want to like using your lightning spell just on one creep. So I try to get it down like below 50%, then use the polymorph on it, and with the assistance of my towers and the barbs to take it out quite quickly. Alright, now so this guy was the biggest pain for me. Like, there was no stopping this guy at first. He would like run through the barbs, run through everything. I was like so fed up, and I was thinking like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna stop this? But with screen recording the matches, making plans with screenshots, I figured out how to kill this guy. And I'm just gonna, instead of like saying how I did it, I'm just gonna show you in a video. It's like the same method, but I lower its health all the way down like to like less than 50%, and then that way you get rid of the 2-stage so the Dark Knight doesn't appear. See here, using stun really helps to group the troops, and with Verisight's sad ability, it kind of helps with the grouping as well. So as you can see here, right here, I use the poly and then follow up with the lightning. My barbs aren't even max, and they got rid of that quite easily. So that's what you do to get rid of it. Alright, so for the Dark Slayer, now this guy, I haven't really seen him a lot because after like reaching stadium, the maps are random. So like, and I normally win before getting to the rounds where he appears. But one thing I can say, I've seen him before, and like what you don't want to do is to let him lead the pack. So if you let him lead the pack and he dies, what's gonna happen is he's gonna drop his sword, and a Dark Knight is gonna take up that sword, and he's gonna become a Dark Slayer again. So even if it's a cavalry, even if you kill a cavalry and it spawns a Dark Knight, that Dark Knight can take up the sword and becomes a Dark Slayer again. So you don't want him to lead the pack. You want him to be in the back, or take him out as soon as possible. Alright, Rocket Riders, and this is one of the worst creeps out there. Like, this is by far, I would say, he is an abomination. And like, an easy way to get him out of the air is like by using this spell, because this guy is a 2-stage as well. So by using this spell, you take him out the air, and polymorph does not work on him when he's on the ground, so don't try to use it. I have done it, I've tried it, it didn't work. So I'm telling you, don't waste your spell. Use the ultimate strike on him. And if you're using a dragon, you're gonna have a hard time because dragon doesn't do well with flying units. So using the ultimate strike, if you have a dragon, if you like your main hero is a dragon, using the ultimate strike would be a good way to go. But if you like using Magnus, you don't have to use the ultimate strike. The Magnus can DPS it down. So I'm gonna show you like an example of that right here. So here we go. Have gotten practice on everything that we covered so far, and you've been following my guide from the previous video, this guy should be a walk in the park for you. The only thing I will say is he does like a range magic attack. So what you want to do is, if you have like barbs out, you want to micro your barbs to the back out of his range, and once this guy has gotten into the range of the barbarians, then you want to stun it and then move your barbs towards it. You can also use polymorph on it if needed, but once he's like next to the barbs and you attacking the barbs, he no longer uses a range attack and he just uses physical punch or hit or whatever he uses. So that's how you can take care of this guy. Alright, and these are just some extra tips. I'll be making a part 2 for this video. Alright, so what you want to do is to try to kill the creeps that gives extra coins as soon as possible. This will help you to build more towers and help you to survive the wave. You don't want to use your spell on like a creep that's not gonna like help you, or like, you know, so using your spells on the creeps that give extra gold is a good way to go about it, as you can see in this video here. Alright, and the next step is don't upgrade your towers right away, because this can hurt you. You don't want to like spend, you know, all your gold upgrading your tower and losing on the second wave. You want to be able to like have control of the wave before you decide to upgrade. If you have to upgrade, however, you can, but also just know that rebuying the same tower is cheaper than upgrading it. And also, moving on to the next tip, you want to arrange your spells based on cooldown. So for this deck right here, this spell right here, as you can see, I have the sun in the front, polymorph in the back, and lightning all the way in the third position. Because like at the start, like when I just started playing, I used to like have the spell and not remember to use it. So having it in this order, you will see that, you know, you will know like when you have like an idea in your head that, hey, it's time to use this spell. And it's also good to rotate your spell. So if you and try to use it in the same way you used it in the previous round, it's situational. So throughout the waves, sometimes you have to adjust. You may have to use your spells differently, but you just want to pay attention to what's going on so you can survive, because like that's what you need to do, and you'll be good. So these are the some, you know, some tips that will help you to go through the new season that's upcoming and help you to get to stadium. And look out for part 2. Peace. And also remember to like, share, and subscribe this video if you liked it, and comment. Please leave a comment on like stuff you want to see and your ideas and thoughts on how to handle other stuff. You know, other, you know, people can like read them and get ideas and help them with their struggles in this new arena.